Hello everyone, this is Linkimus Prime, and this is going to be another unboxing slash review, and this one's going to be very different because I never really look at Ninja Turtles. I think the only time I ever actually did a Ninja Turtle review was definitely over a year ago. So we're going to try and fix that, because I remember there was a poll I put out like a while ago asking if you guys wanted to see more Ninja Turtle reviews, and you guys said yes, and I did not deliver. So it's time to deliver. So I figured, why not start off trying to do more Ninja Turtle reviews by taking a look at something that I completely came out of nowhere for me. This is the brand new Playmates 1988 remastered 6-pack of Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, Splinter, and Shredder, and this thing looks awesome. I love the way this looks. Now, for context, I do have the turtle figures that, basically were used for these molds. However, these are remastered versions of those, because those turtles, those were Walmart exclusives, and they had like bumpy texture, which not a lot of people were really messing with, and they accidentally switched the head sculpts of Donatello and Leonardo. So yeah, they fixed that issue and they got rid of the texturing. I personally didn't mind the textured skin, but if you really want proper remastered turtles, this is definitely the way a lot of people were wanting to see them do it. But yeah, anyways, let's take a quick look at this box real quick, because this thing looks really cool. I love that it's, made to look like the original sewer layer play set from the 80s. That looks really cool. Even in the background, you can tell that there's some detailing. Cardboard cutout details of, these extra details on the top. We got some more sewer details, all hand-drawn, which looks really cool. On the side, we have open window. Other side, another open window, but also some more artistic detail. On the back, we have some absolutely fantastic box art. I love this. This is peak. But yeah, it's celebrate Turtles history with action figures based on the first wave of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys from 1988, remastered with new articulation and intricate detail. These characters combine retro styling with modern updates. Yeah, I love the way this looks. Nothing too much at the bottom except for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that's really about it. So let's get this opened up out of the box and see what we are dealing with. And here we have the inside of the box, and as you can see, there's definitely a lot more of these cardboard cutout details. I really wish, I think we're getting a reissue of the playset, the original one, which is really cool. So these will definitely go really well with that. They'll already go well with the new Technodrome and the new Party Wagon that, have come out recently. So definitely need that sewer layer playset to round out the whole thing. But yeah, I love the way that this looks. But let's actually get them out. And here we have all 6 figures taken out of the packaging, and oh my god, these are the Ninja Turtle figures I would have dreamt of as a child. These are stunning. I love these. Yeah, just, oh my god, just look at that. They look so good together. Oh well. These are awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how these kind of scale up with my play sets and stuff. But anyways, yeah, just peak. Okay, so let's first take a look at. Let me get these put to the side first. Let's first take a look at Master Splinter here, just to get him out of the way. He's not the most important to me, even though he is the reason the Turtles exist. So he is a very important character. I'm not saying he's not an important character. I'm just, yeah. But he looks pretty cool. Definitely kind of falling on the line between like cartoon accurate and toy accurate. So definitely an interesting choice there, because he's got pupils, as you can see. He's got pupils. The paint here is pretty good. You got white paint for the teeth, brown on the nose, painted eyes, which are looking pretty straightforward. So that's good. Nice sculpt work on the robing here. Nice painted black belt. The coloring here on the tail is pretty good. Paint here on the little wrapping is pretty good. Overall, the rest of the sculpting is great. The only thing I'm not the biggest fan of is maybe just the fact that the robe here is plastic. The original toy, the robe was cloth. So that is kind of unfortunate. However, I'm pretty sure this is definitely needed because it was just the robe section that was cloth in the original toy. He didn't really have sleeves. They were just kind of like, he was sleeveless. So this one actually has sleeves. So that's, yeah. But he looks good, you know, and when it comes to his accessories, he does have a few things. I'm going to move these off to the side. So we have his cane, and we have his bow and arrow, and we also have this this little throwing star. So, and yeah, but his cane right here looks pretty cool. It is just another accessory right here, so you can just slide that back in. He can use it kind of like a sword, but you just kind of put that in his hand like so. And there's his cane, and that looks pretty cool. That looks really cool. I'm gonna move you off. There we go. But yeah, and of course he could stand with his cane like so. And I'm gonna move my camera down a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. But yeah, there we go. And he looks pretty cool. And then of course his bow and arrow. Now this one is actually also a new feature. There is a clip right here, so you can put the arrow through the clip like so, and you can just have him hold it like, I would assume like that. You probably have to, there we go, probably like that. Yep. And just put that in the hand like so, and there you go. And he can hold his bow and arrow. Not the most elegant way to do it, but it's doable. You could probably have him, you know, like that up like that, and there. Sure, why not? Yeah, but yeah, it's there. It does what it needs to. And then of course the throwing star, he can hold it like that, and there you go. It's not the best, but he can do it, I guess. But yeah, I wish there was maybe another place to put the throwing star. It doesn't look like there is, but yeah. When it comes down to articulation, again, these are remastered, so they're going to have a lot more articulation. So the head's on a ball joint, can kind of look side to side, rotation all the way around like so. A little bit of tiltage there. Arms can rotate all the way around, move in and out like so. Swivel at the elbow, bend at the elbow, and a swivel at the wrist all the way around. And we have, doesn't seem like there's any torso movement. That's okay. The tail can swivel all the way around like so. The legs can kick forward and back that far. And luckily the robe detail, like the robe piece, is actually soft plastic. So you can have him kick forward and back without any issues whatsoever. And of course, you can do the splits. Bit of a swivel at the thigh, swivel at the knee, pretty decent bend at the knee, like so. And then we do have a swivel at the ankle, up and down. And that's really about it when it comes down to articulation. Not too bad, but yeah, overall pretty good in terms of that. And up next, we have the leader, Leonardo, and he looks really, really cool. Again, your basic Leonardo figure, but again, remastered, so he looks the exact same as the original toy. Definitely a lot more elegant. But yeah, let's take a closer look. So of course he has the smooth textured skin rather than the bumpy textured skin. And then, you know, we do have painted yellow for the turtle shell, some darker green for the back shell. The blue is applied very nicely on the bandana areas. White for the eyes is done pretty well. The teeth look not amazing, but they do what they need to do. The dark green does pass off for shading, so that works, I guess. Rest of the blue looks good. He's got the L on his little belt, and that looks pretty cool. And of course, you know, the belt is a separate rubbery piece, as it should be. But yeah, but he looks pretty cool. Now, when it comes to articulation, you got basically ball joint at the head, so you can do all that, rotate all the way around, and there is that. Arms can rotate all the way around, in and out, so at the elbow, bend at the elbow, not the farthest of bend, but that's really all you're gonna get. So there's that, and a swivel at the wrist. Nothing at the torso, again, expected. Legs can kick forward and back, not amazingly, but decently. Swivel at the legs, swivel at the knee, bend at the knee. Oh, that got stressed there a little bit. That's unfortunate. And a swivel at the foot. There is that. When it comes down to his accessories, he only comes with his 2 katanas, but they look pretty cool. They're done in a nice metallic silver, and I am gonna, there we go. And then, of course, the handles are painted blue. There is storage for these. You can just store them on the back sheaths like so, and like so. And there we go. And that looks really cool. I love that. I've always liked storage on Leonardo figures like this. But of course, take them out, and he can hold them like so, and like so. There we go. And that looks really cool. There you go. And of course, you can get some pretty decent poses out of these guys. You know, nothing too shabby, of course. They, again, are remastered after all. But yeah, definitely would not have been able to do this with the original 80s toys, that's for sure. But that is awesome. There is Leonardo. And moving on to Michelangelo. He is a party dude. And yeah, he looks really cool. This one is a darker green compared to Leonardo, of course. This is actually the darkest of the greens. And he looks really cool. The orange paint is applied very nicely on all the bandanas. White in the eyes is painted nicely. I think the teeth definitely look a lot better on this one than they did on Leonardo. Again, same kind of paintwork for the shell, the yellow, and the dark green. Looks really good. Yellow M for the belt logo, which looks really cool, and that's really about it. Articulation is pretty much the same as Leonardo, so there's not really much to cover there. These are, again, the same figures, but, you know, they are, of course, capable of pretty good poses and all that kind of stuff, so expect to have some fun with these guys, but yeah. When it comes to his accessories, of course, he comes with his basic nunchucks, but these ones, unlike the original ones from the 80s, which broke a lot from what I've seen because they were just a little plastic wire, these are chains now, and they're actually metal. These are actually metal chains, and you know, you can do that, and that's really cool. I like that. Storage, pretty simple. Actually, just to go over, they are painted orange. Looks really cool. You can plug them into the back like so, and like so, and like so, and like so. And that is your weapons storage. Looks really not amazing, but it's doable. Take those out, and of course, he can hold them as he should be able to, like that. Oh, gotta kind of work this one a little bit, I guess. I just force them in there. See, the fact that these are painted, I kind of want to be a little bit on the careful side. But there we go. There's that. And there is that. Oh, that one's a bit loose, but it does the trick at least. There you go. He can hold his nunchucks. That's pretty cool. I like it. Yay! But yeah, there's Michelangelo. Up next, we have Donatello, and he definitely has like a more brownish green going on here. The teeth are pretty nicely applied. Again, not the best, kind of in the similar league to Leonardo's, but you know, same yellow and green for the shell. I do want to at least acknowledge the shell sculpting here. This does carry over from the original 80s toy. I love the way that these shells are sculpted with all the swirly detailing going on there. I really like that. But yeah, the purple is painted nicely on all the bandanas. Again, that kind of cross-section rubber belt going on there, same as on Leonardo. And we do have the painted yellow D right here on the front, which looks really cool. Articulation, again, the exact same, nothing much to cover there. And of course, he comes with his classic bow staff. This is entirely painted, and I did experience a little bit of paint chipping right here when taking it out of the box, but it's not a huge deal. He does have his little bow staff holster right here, and you can just slide that in like so, and I do recommend to express caution when doing this, but there you go. You can store it on his back like that, and of course, slide it back out, and he can hold it like so, Put that in his hands like that and like that. Come on, get in there. There we go. And that looks really cool. There he is. That is with the bow staff. That is awesome. Yeah. I'm just going to put this out there. I think Donatello is an underrated turtle. I think he's pretty cool. Not a lot of people like him that much, but I like him. I think he's awesome. But yeah, there's Donatello. And moving on to my favorite of the turtles. He's cool, but he's rude. We got Raphael, and I love the way that this looks. He is a bit of a darker green. This is definitely a lot more accurate. I do remember one of the past Raphael reissues, the green was a bit too light, and it was a Toys R Us exclusive back in 2016. I don't know if you guys remember it or not, but this is actually a lot closer to what the green should have been on the original toy, and it looks really, really cool. Love the red on all the bandana details. Yellow R symbol on the belt. Again, not this one does not have like the cross belt detail or anything like that, so this is just a normal belt. He's got the holsters on the front this time, but yeah, he's pretty nicely painted. Teeth are nicely painted, and sculpting, again, same thing as the other ones, but looks really, really cool. I definitely like the colors on this one the most. That's just me. He does come with his size, which look really cool. These ones are definitely a lot more accurate, but you know, they got some painted red on the handles. These look a little closer to the 2012 size, at least the actual blade, not necessarily the wrapping, but it looks really cool. And of course, you can store these on like in these holsters on the front here, like that and like that. It is a little bit bent, so probably don't put these in there for a long period of time, but it does the trick. And of course, he can hold them like, well, let me see if I can force these in. There we go. You can hold them like that and like, well, that was gonna go in a little bit easier. There we go. There we go. That looks really cool. I love it. I actually do wonder if he can. Let's see. Can he hold them like this? Oh my god, he can. Oh my god, he can. Ooh. I see. Okay, I love when Raph does this. I love when he holds the size like in between his fingers. That's awesome. That does it for me right there. That is peak. But yeah, there he is. Posability is pretty cool. Of course, again, exact same as the others. But there's Raphael. And finally, moving on to the big bad himself, the evil Shredder. And yeah, he's okay. That's really about it. He's okay. Definitely like an interesting, you know, concept. Like the way he looks. Like this one is definitely closer to his, well, I wouldn't say closer, but like he takes inspiration from his original toy counterpart, but it's definitely a far cry from that original toy, whether that be for better or for worse. He definitely captures the look of the original toy, that's for sure. But I don't know if I can consider that a compliment or an insult. But let's just take a look. Yeah, the eyes are, how do I put this? The eyes are kind of, yeah. That's really all I can say about that. They're interesting. Of course, the colors on here are accurate to the original toy, and he's got the blades like on the wrist gauntlet rather than on the, you know, the what is it? The fist gauntlet? Yeah. But yeah, so that's accurate to the toy. Of course, the shoulder. I don't know how these stick on his shoulders like that. I don't know. Again, he's shirtless like on the original toy, which is not in the cartoon, but maybe for reasons, probably, I don't know. Claws on the knee pads. The paint work here is pretty decent. My biggest gripe, again, that I pointed out with Splinter, is the lack of a piece of cloth, especially for the cape. That really would have sealed the deal for me if he had a cloth cape, because this is not doing it for me. This very much limits, in my opinion, the range of his figure when you don't include a cloth cape. So that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. When it comes down to posability, his head is on a ball joint, so you know, you can do what you'd expect with a head on a ball joint. Arms can rotate around. all the way like so, move outward and inward, rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow, a swivel at the wrist. I think they're not on ball joints. It looked like they were for a second. This one, unlike the other ones, does actually have a waist swivel, which is nice. Legs can kick forward that far and back that far. Swivel at the thigh, bend at the knee, swivel at the knee, and a swivel at the ankle. And that's really about it for articulation, but it's pretty decent. And when it comes down to his accessories, we have a big sword right here, nice painted purple right there, and of course he can hold it like so. It's a bit of a loose hold, but that's also accurate to the original toy. Comes with this smaller kind of dagger, again with nice purple paint right there on the handle. You can hold that as well. So there's that. He comes with this, I don't know what this is called, but it's something, and of course you can hold that as well. There's that. He comes with this other thing. It just looks like a stunted sai kind of. I don't think he's going to hold that very well. Yeah, he can't hold it at all, actually. So there's that. And then a ninja star, which he also probably, he can hold, but he's going to have to hold it with his thumb. So yeah, only a few of these accessories are really usable, but yeah, that's really about it. Overall, I mean, you could probably get him into some pretty cool poses. That waist swivel definitely helps a lot. That's pretty cool, actually. I really like that. That's actually really cool. But yeah, I don't know. Shredder never really used his weapons, at least in my opinion. His body and his armor is his weapon. That's just my thing. So I don't really care too much about the accessories. It's a nice inclusion, of course. Kind of rounds him out a bit, but yeah, overall, he's okay. And overall, that's really about it for this review. But I gotta say, as a Ninja Turtle fan, I've been a fan of Ninja Turtles since 2012. It's been, what, 13 years since I gotten into the franchise. Like this was the first. This was before Transformers for me. This was my first, like, you know, nerdy franchise, and you know, I have a major appreciation for it. So having something like this is definitely something that really kind of rounds it out for me. There's been a lot of Playmates releases and NECA releases for Ninja Turtles that have, you know, I acquired them, and it just felt like a full circle moment because I love Ninja Turtles so much. It's one of those things I do not express it on this channel as much, and I feel like I need to, because just I feel like I haven't shown as much appreciation online for Ninja Turtles as I should be. Because realistically, I would not be into the things that I'm into now if it wasn't for Ninja Turtles. So having a playset like this, and, you know, just this is such an outstanding variety pack. If you can find this, get it, especially if you love Ninja Turtles. If you can find this, please, like, this is such an outstanding set. You get 6 figures. I did pay like $60, but yeah, retail is supposed to be like 55, so it's expected. But I mean, that's what, like, realistically, like $8 to $10 per figure. That's great. That's really good. You know, Playmates has always been really good about their pricing and everything, so I love them. I love Playmates' stuff. You know, their Godzilla stuff is great. Their Ninja Turtle stuff is great. I'm a huge sucker for Ninja Turtles. I'm a huge sucker for Playmates, and this is definitely an outstanding pack. So if you find it, get it. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's really about it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.